Hello everyone, welcome to my channel or welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. In today's pick a card reading, we are looking at how did they feel the last time they saw you? Once you choose your card, you can find the timestamps in the description box below, which will take you directly to your reading. Okay, for pile number 1, how did they feel the last time they saw pile number 1? How did they feel the last time they saw pile number 2? How did they feel the last time they saw pile number 3? Pile number 1. You have broken heart and, oh, there we go. Okay. And your stone is the half moon Lapis Lazuli. Pile number 2, you have the tiger's eye half moon. And your card is man holding a heart. Pile number 3, you have the fluorite half moon, and your card is attachment. Please take as long as you need choosing your card or cards, and I will see you in your readings. Hello, pile number 1. You have the Lapis Lazuli half moon, and your card is broken heart and number 9. So how did they feel the last time they saw you? I feel like they felt like their heart was literally breaking. I feel that they felt devastated. I feel in my stomach right now, I'm feeling like there's a feeling of like feeling nauseous, queasy, unsettled, shaky even. I'm getting like someone like feeling physically shaky, crying. And I feel like with these cuts in the heart on the side here, I feel like you had tried to repair something in the past. And with the number 9, I feel like no matter how hard you tried to fix something that was broken, it just, for one reason or another, you just couldn't fix it. And it became time with the number 9, it became time to let it go. There was kind of nothing else that you could do, and it was becoming time for an ending and a new beginning. And so, yeah, I just see this person being completely devastated. Like I feel like the cut in the middle of the heart just goes all the way through, and these two pieces are just kind of sitting there together, but you could easily pull them apart. So let's look at your other oracle cards and see what else we can find for you. Okay, how did they feel the last time they saw pile number 1? Okay, so there's 2 here. Destiny. I think they felt like you were supposed to be together. You know, like, I think they thought you would be together forever, but something happened that kind of changed things. And so I feel like that's really part of why it was so devastating for them, because I feel like they thought that you would be married, or maybe you were married and you ended up getting a divorce, and it was just like earth shattering for them. And feeling that you couldn't resolve your differences, unfortunately. Okay, what else can you tell us? Growth. Okay. With growth, I'm feeling like they felt like you outgrew them or you changed, and because of that, it kind of changed. It changed, like this, the way that you grew, or something that happened, something that you decided to do, or just kind of just natural growth that people go through, changing, stuff like that. I feel like this person feels like that's what caused the break in you two being together. I'm going to take one more card because this one is really, and this one kind of came out too. So let's see what we have here. Passion. I feel like they didn't want to leave. I feel like they still had passion for the relationship, and they feel like they could have grown with you, but it was kind of like too little too late or something like that. But yeah, I feel like they definitely felt like they wanted to grow old with you and take care of you, because that's what they thought they were signing up for. But you know, sometimes with growth, the growth of, you know, two souls that come together, sometimes you learn everything you're supposed to learn, and you do everything you're supposed to do, and then unfortunately you're supposed to part ways after that and go off and learn other lessons and do other things. And so I feel like this person was having a really hard time understanding that. Complacency. Oh. I feel like they felt like they didn't do what they said they wanted to do. So I feel like they said they wanted to be with you forever. They said they wanted to take care of you, but they kind of became complacent in the relationship, and somehow became isolated, or they weren't putting in enough effort. Like, this is what they're feeling. So like the last time they saw you and you had a conversation of, we need to end this because it's not working anymore. I feel like they were thinking like, oh, there's so much more I could have done. There's so much more I could have said. I wish I would have done those. I wish we could have grown together at like the same pace. And I'm getting a lot of regret with the complacency here. Okay. What else can you tell us for pile number one? How did they feel the last time they saw pile number one? Mystery. So there's something about it that they don't quite understand. Okay, so the last time they saw you, there seems to be something that they feel was left unsaid, or I feel like at first they thought that they were doing a good job and they thought that everything was okay. But if you look at these two bricks, we'll call them here, the two buildings, whatever it is, the way that you're looking at it, this one looks taller, right? And so there was growth in one of you and the other one didn't catch up yet. And so I feel like there was mystery around that. Something that has to do with the growth, something. So they didn't quite understand that there was a little bit of confusion. I feel like for some reason they were like, I think they thought that you could work through this, and they were a little bit surprised that you decided to walk away. And ooh, yeah, pain. So they were a little bit surprised that you decided to walk away, and I think that's when this feeling of complacency came in, because once they started thinking of like, well, what did I do? What could I have done differently? That's when they started to think about, oh, okay, well, maybe I kind of see it now. I could have done this, or I could have done that. So yeah, they were in a tremendous amount of pain, a lot of pain with the broken heart here and in the pain card. Definitely not a pleasant feeling. Really feeling like their world was kind of just being quite literally covered in pain. Feeling like they really just wanted to sleep the day away. And also feeling some sort of detachment. And I think that's because they wanted to reach out to you. They wanted to try to fix things. But, you know, with the broken heart here, the detachment of the heart and the number 9, there just was really nothing else that could be done at that point. Okay, let's look at your tarot cards now and see what else we can find out. For pile number 1, how did they feel the last time they saw pile number 1? How did they feel the last time? Sorry, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the cards. How did they feel the last time they saw pile number 1? Ooh, the Queen of Swords. So they felt like they were looking for your compassion. They felt like you were speaking very cold. They felt you were acting cold. They felt that you were kind of not the person that they used to know, because they knew you before as someone who was a little bit softer than you were acting that day, the last time they saw you. So kind of, they felt like you were stating the facts with little emotion. But what I see here with the broken heart is that you had probably tried to fix things before. And with the complacency, I feel like this person may have put a little bit of effort in, or no effort, or the wrong effort. And you kept looking and looking and looking for possible growth in what you said needed to be fixed in the relationship, and you just didn't see that. And so you really had to be pretty, like, to protect your heart and to actually break away. I feel like you had to be pretty bold and pretty just straightforward, and just kind of just say it, just get it on the table and then walk away, because I feel like if you didn't act that way, you would have stayed. And that wouldn't have been good for your own personal growth. Yeah, because see, this is what I'm seeing here, or what I was saying here. There's something about you growing and the other person was not growing. So it could have been that you were working on some self-improvements, you were going places in life, and this other person was just kind of not catching up to you, not really, like, I feel like there was something lacking in this other person, perhaps like a spark in their own life. Something about that. I feel that it would have taken you down. It would have held you down. It would have made you feel a little bit how they were feeling, a little bit just not really excited about life, and you could not keep yourself in that kind of situation. So I feel like they might have felt a little resentment, or some of that mystery is coming in here, looking at you and thinking, well, why can't I share this with you? And the problem is that this was all you, and they were kind of complacent, and these two just can't really go together for too long. The Ace of Swords with the key here, and then can you see there's a keyhole right here, and like where the brain would be, kind of. So this makes me think that with the mystery, they were trying to figure something out. They were trying to figure out why you were talking the way you were, why you were just stating facts without emotions. I feel like they might have been a little bit stunned, and really just like the shock of the pain of everything made them feel like they just weren't sure what they should say right now or how they should say it. And feeling a sense of confusion also. The Six of Swords. They felt like they didn't have any other choice but to walk away. Even though they didn't want to walk away, even though they knew that this just wasn't working anymore, I feel like they ignored those feelings for as long as they could. And they didn't want to be the one to walk away. I almost feel like they couldn't walk away. Like, literally, they could not be the one to say these things to you. But I feel like this had been going on for a while. I feel like they might have thought about, maybe we should end this, maybe this isn't going to work for us. But when it came down to actually taking action on that, they felt like it was a physical impossibility to actually do that. They wanted to keep this anchor down in the water and stay there. Okay, the Eight of Swords. Yes, this is basically what I was just saying. They knew that it was time to move on, but they literally could not do it. Their mind would not let them stand up here and fly away. They felt, even though they weren't necessarily happy toward the end, the reason why is because there was something going on with them. Like, as an individual, this other person was not happy inside their own heart. Therefore, it became very difficult for you to be happy in your own life, because this person's energy as a couple with you was just very, very stagnant, but it's kind of like putting like this weight on you, kind of pulling you down. And I don't think this person was a bad person. I think they just had some stuff, some things in their own life, in their own heart that they didn't work through yet, that they got so caught up in that they didn't want to confront it and work through it, so that from that point then you could work on your relationship together. And I feel like you really had no other choice but to walk away from this person. We have the Wheel of Fortune. I feel like they thought that you had found something better, or, oh, okay. They felt like you deserve better. That's why they wanted to walk away, but they couldn't walk away because they felt like you deserved better. But they literally could not get all of these pieces to move together to actually, stand up from this cage here and walk away, because their heart, literally, it's like they had glue on their feet and they couldn't walk away. So I feel like even though they didn't want things to end and it was horribly devastating for them, I feel like they knew that it was the best thing for you. Especially because we have 9 here and then we have 10 here. So it's like they knew that it was best for you. What does that say? 10:20, is that what that says? Let me get my little magnifying glass. I want to see what time this clock says. So 10. So about 10:18, I think. Somewhere between 10:15 and 10:20, I believe, this little clock right here that she's holding. I think that's what that says. I don't know if that means anything to you, but I was just curious when I saw it there. Okay, so let's see. We have the 8 of Wands. I feel like I feel like once you had this last conversation, Or maybe there was an event that happened before this last conversation that was kind of a catalyst for you to say, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I feel like it was something you saw that this other person did or didn't do. And because see here how this person's like looking at something, watching for something to happen, or noticing that something did not happen. And all the birds here, and how this globe is, we'll just call it a globe, like this air balloon, whatever it is actually attached to the tree here. And then here we have all these umbrellas and this person is floating away. So I feel like I feel like it happened very quickly when this person, you, didn't see something that was supposed to happen, or you saw something that wasn't supposed to happen, and you just kind of snapped and said, that's it, I can't do it anymore. And then you may have had a conversation with this other person, and they were thinking like, oh, it's okay, I can fix it. But what I'm seeing with the Eight of Wands is that it was a pretty quick progression from seeing this last thing that happened to you having a conversation with them saying, I'll fix it, and you saying, no, that's it, I can't do this anymore. And then just all of a sudden you're moving on and they're watching you float away. And that's when I feel like the pain got even worse for them. A lot of regret, a lot of pain, wishing they could have done things differently. The Six of Cups. Yes, wishing they could have done things differently, looking at how they did things, wishing that you didn't float away. A little bit of introspection, thinking, I wish I could have grown with this person. I wish I could have been as successful as this person. And when I say success, I mean, that can mean anything. Maybe you worked through your own personal issues, just changing for the better, because we can always, all of us can always improve, you know what I mean? So I'm not saying that there's anything bad with you or even this other person, but I'm just saying, like, you could have made your own personal improvements and this person did not. And they were kind of thinking like, oh, well, why didn't I do that too? Why didn't I grow with this person? The Seven of Wands. Yeah, they felt like something about the way they thought or looked at things, they felt like they were in their own personal prison. Like, I feel like they had walls up or something. I feel like they didn't share enough of why they felt a certain way or why they did certain things as a form of protection for them, because for them to do that, they would really have to dig deep into their past, whatever it was in their life that made them not want to be the absolute best person that they could be. The reason why they didn't look at those things is because it was too painful. It's, too difficult. It's, when you're trying to better yourself, a lot of times that's painful. You're looking at things that hurt you in the past. So you have to, confront that and then heal that and then release it and let it go. And that's not an easy thing to do. And I feel like this person had a lot of fear in doing that. And that's why they were acting so slowly. They felt like they weren't strong enough to go through that process at that time. We have the Star card. The Star card and the Six of Swords. This takes me back to the Wheel of Fortune, what I said here. I feel like this person, this is really intense. I feel like this person loved you enough to let you go. They loved you enough so that you could be this person here. I feel like even though they wanted you to stay and they wanted to try to fix things and work on things, they knew that they were kind of holding you back. And so they couldn't say it to you. They couldn't say, we shouldn't be together anymore because I'm holding you back. Okay, they could not say that as initiating the conversation, but once you brought it up, that we saw here in the Queen of Swords, that identified exactly how they were feeling, but they could not verbalize it. Just like I said here, they could not walk away. But they didn't want to hold you back. They wanted to continue to see you grow and thrive. And unfortunately, they couldn't have it both ways at that particular time in their life. And what I just got is that this might have been the catalyst for this other person to actually accept growth themselves and to learn how to confront any of these issues that they had within their own soul. So that could be part of the reason why you were brought together, is because it took you leaving for them to say, okay, let me break out of this self-imposed prison that I've been in, and let me start to look at the deeper issues that I have in my life. The Lover's card. The first thing that I got with this card, it kind of flashed in my mind, was right person, wrong time. So I feel like, again, something connected to the Star card in the Wheel of Fortune, where I feel like this person on some level, I don't know if they were exactly showing it, but they were trying to be strong and letting you go, because you see the butterflies here. They wanted you to be able to go and grow, and they didn't want to hold you back, even though they did want you to stay, but they could not hold you back. Do you understand how those are two different things? So it's kind of like, if you love something, let it go. And that's what they did. Yeah, it's really, really, really sad. Really sad. The Nine of Swords. Okay. The Nine of Swords, this really sums up what I was saying about this person, that I feel that this person really has some things that they need to confront in their life, things they need to fix, deep-rooted issues, concerns, whatever you want to call it, within their own soul that they haven't looked at yet, that they haven't confronted yet. And I feel like that's where the complacency comes in. Because you see, they had passion for you. They wanted to be with you. They wanted to grow old with you. They thought you were supposed to be together forever. But at the same time, they have this sense of complacency and a sense of almost like depression. And it's like they just couldn't face it at the time. They just couldn't do it. They were so scared of what would happen if they confronted their own issues that it caused you to move on. But I feel like they still love you. They probably always will. And I feel like, I do feel like they have possibly started to look at some of these issues within themselves. I feel like that's why we have this person here kind of breaking out of the bars. And also I think that's why we have all of the eyeballs here, because this person is saying, okay, well, this is going to be really, really terrifying, but maybe I should start to look at these things within myself. So I hope that makes sense for you. If you like this reading, you can like and subscribe. You can also click the bell if you want to be notified of future videos. And if you would ever like to book a private reading with me, you can do that on my website, which is listed down below in the description box. Hello, pile number 2. You have the Tiger's Eye Half Moon, and your card is Man Holding a Heart. So I feel like the last time this person saw you, I feel like they had a lot of love for you. And I get something about waiting for you, kind of like I'll be here for you or I'll be waiting for you, something like that. I feel like this person's intentions were very genuine. I feel like they have a good heart. And I feel like they wanted to see where this connection would go. And just very sincere, really sincere, honest, really true, good intentions. So let's see what else your oracle cards have to say. Okay. For pile number 2, how did they feel the last time they saw pile number 2? Ooh, they felt like you were their soulmate. They felt like they've known you before, and they felt like you have, you know what I just saw is that a string connection. I can't remember exactly what that means. Like I know it's like a connection with like soulmates, but like I don't remember all of the details to explain it here at this exact moment, but I saw like a string connecting the two of you together, and that almost like this person knew that they had known you before in a past life, like the second they saw you. And I feel like almost like they knew that they loved you in a past life. Very interesting. Okay, let's see what other information we get. What else can you tell us for pile number 2? How did they feel the last time they saw pile number 2? Abundance. So they had feelings of a lot of love for you, a lot of genuine, heartfelt love for you. They feel like they could have had a whole life with you. They feel like they could have had everything that they wanted with you. However, there was something blocking it that caused them a lot of stress, a lot of sadness. Trying to figure out a way to make it work. This says for sale here. This house is for sale here. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that, but there's a house here and it says it's for sale. Did they have to move away from you for some reason, or did you have to move away from them? Because I'm feeling like this person, like, if this didn't happen up here, there's no way they ever would have left you. Did somebody pass away? I almost feel like someone may have passed away for some of you. Well, we'll see when we get more cards, but if that's the case, if someone who's watching this had a loved one who passed away, they want you to know that they still love you. Remember when I talked about the string that I saw connecting you to? You will see each other in another lifetime. After this lifetime, you will definitely see each other again, and they love you probably more now than they did before. It's like their love for you keeps growing and growing and growing. It's never, ever, ever, ever gonna go away, ever. Okay, so I think that's a message for some of you watching. I don't think that's for everybody watching, but I did want to mention that. And then, like I said, excuse me, like I said, we'll see what other cards we get as we go along, and see which direction this reading goes. Okay, for pile number 2, how did they feel the last time they saw pile number 2? Peace. They had a sense of peace. I think that you brought them peace. I feel like I feel like they were like a really good person and they had a pretty good life. Like I feel like if they had a difficult life before they met you, I feel like they worked through all of their past traumas or all of their past pain, and really became very comfortable with who they are in this lifetime. I feel like there's just a sense of peace, peace within themselves and peace with you as well. Like everything was very peaceful, and like we see here, there was some kind of external factor as to why they could no longer be with you. But they felt like they found their home. They felt like they found their person. Yeah, it's like, because, you know, some soulmate relationships can be difficult, to say the least, where it's like learning some of the hardest lessons with this soulmate. And then other times when you meet your soulmate, it's just kind of smooth sailing. It's that second one that I see with you too. That, I mean, of course, you probably had your differences here and there and, you know, some arguments here and there, but it's like overall a feeling of peace. Ideation. Interesting. Oh, okay. So yes, look at here too. Okay, so they had like all these things that they wanted to do with you, all these plans that they wanted to make with you. They were like actually like they could see it very, very clearly, almost like it had happened before. And see, there's something, I'm getting something here. It's not quite formed yet, so I'll probably get more with this card as we go along, but I feel like they had a lot of hopes and dreams with you. I feel like maybe they even wanted to move with you or buy a house with you or run away together type of thing. Is this... for some of you, I think maybe this could be where one of you may have been in a situation with someone else, may have been in a relationship or an unhappy marriage or something like that with someone else. And for one reason or another, whoever was in, let's just say if you were in another relationship, either you or this other person, and for some reason they couldn't leave that relationship, maybe they had a sense of obligation or it's something like that. If something like that happened where they were unhappy in this relationship, but somehow they met you and they felt like you were their true soulmate, but for one reason or another, they couldn't leave the situation over here. It's like this unfortunate state of events. That's like how they felt, but they felt like there was nothing they could do about it, even though they know that you are their true soulmate. So I'm getting quite a few different scenarios here. So there could be quite a few different people and situations that are going to be watching this. I just wanted one more card here. I was really drawn to pull this last card. So isolation. They felt very alone. They felt isolated, kind of like this card shows here. Not about you, though. For some reason, it's like they couldn't be with you for some reason, and they felt very isolated. Like, you see this little dot here? And then look at this card. Look at how this person here, who it looks like they have some kind of alcohol or something, and they are trying to figure something out, but they can't quite figure out how to make something work. And so they felt very isolated. They felt alone. They felt like like there was really nothing they could do about the situation. Let's look at your tarot cards and see what else we can find out for you. Okay, what else can you tell us for pile number 2? Okay, that card obviously wanted to come out. What else can you okay, your cards are alive. What else can you tell us for pile number 2? How did they feel the last time they saw pile number 2? Okay, let's look at these two first. I feel like they wanted to marry you. They wanted to start a life with you. They felt like you were the beginning of their life. Does that make sense? They felt like things make sense now. They had, again, I was just going to say they had a sense of peace, and then I looked back and saw that card. They had a sense of peace, like this perfect union. They wanted to start over with you is what I just got. It's very interesting. There's a lot of emotions here. A lot of... Oh, I just got... why didn't I meet you before? Let's see. We have the Star card. And remember, these two fell out of the deck as I was shuffling. So they felt like you were their soulmate. They felt like you were what they should have had in the beginning. I don't know what that means. Unless if they were with someone else, you know, maybe, you know, people get married or they're together for reasons other than because they're in love, or maybe they were in love and then they fell out of love, but they were still felt the sense of obligation. You know, in a perfect world, people would get married for just love and that's it. But, you know, there's lots of reasons why someone might be with someone else. And so I'm kind of getting a feeling like something like that might have been going on for some of you. But the last time they saw you, you were like their dream come true. You were like everything that they've ever wanted. And they wanted more with you than what they were able to have with you. The Nine of Pentacles. I feel like they wanted to give you the world. You know, like here, it's like this person is holding a heart and it's like they want to give it to you. And then here, I feel like this person may be very successful in their career, and it's like they wanted to share that with you because they've for some reason they feel very alone and isolated, even though I'm not sure that they are. Did somebody have to go away somewhere? Because now I'm feeling like someone may have had to go away. Interesting. Let me see if I get anything else on that. There's like so many energies I'm getting. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of people watching this pile number 2, but okay, so they had a lot. I feel like they worked very, very hard to get where they were in life, but they were very generous. They had a lot of abundance. They wanted to share this with you. They wanted to experience the finer things in life with you. Let's see what else we have. Okay, the Justice card. Something about the isolation card. Remember I said somebody may have had to go away? And now we have the Justice card. I feel like for some of you, somebody was forced to leave the country, whatever country you're in, or somebody may have gone to jail for something, something that was almost like out of their control. But when I say go to jail, that doesn't necessarily mean an actual like prison, because you know, sometimes I see things and hear things that are metaphors. So if, let's go back to the example, and this is just kind of like a metaphor, an example. If somebody was in a situation that they couldn't get out of for some reason, then that itself could be like a prison, like a jail cell. And you see here, there's like grates here, which also makes me think that somebody was kind of stuck somewhere and they couldn't, like they couldn't move forward through this because like something was keeping them somewhere. And then with the Justice card, you know, when I turn this over, that's when this sense of jail came to me again. But the situation was out of their control, because if they had a choice, they would be with you. They did not want to be here. They felt like it was like suffocating their soul. And you see here, there's like poison, and like these people up here have something to do with it. It was out of their control, and they wanted things to be different, and they felt absolutely devastated. Now, it just came to me that this person down here actually took the poison themselves, but it was like someone up here kind of said, well, you don't have any other choice. This is what you have to do. The Knight of Pentacles. Very interesting. There's definitely something about money here, because you have abundance and you have money here. Then you have all of this abundance and money here. And then here, so knights are, they move, right? Knights can represent movement. The pentacles, though, is a very slow moving movement. And then you have this like devil here with the money. So it seems to be something about money that may have been keeping this person away from you. Maybe they would have lost a lot of money if they would have walked away from this situation. They would have lost a lot of money, or so maybe they would have lost a lot of money and then they couldn't provide the life for you that they wanted to provide for you, or something like that. Or something, I mean, it could be a job that took them away. Maybe it had something to do with, they felt like they were obligated or something like that. And they, for whatever reason, they had a really tough decision to make. I feel like this person and you had to part ways for reasons that were somewhat out of their control. I feel like, yes, they could have stayed, but when they really thought about it, ultimately they thought it would be best to go ahead and part ways, even though this was probably the most difficult decision that they made in their entire life. Okay, 5 of Cups. Yeah. They didn't want to walk away from you. They did not want to walk away. This is something, the devastation that they felt from walking away, or from you walking away, or you parting ways, however you want to word it. This is something I feel like will never, ever, ever leave them. They think about it all the time. You see these 2 cups here? They feel like you were supposed to be together. But whatever happened here, it was out of their control. And they're in mourning, and they're going to be in mourning for probably beyond this lifetime as well. When I say forever, I mean for an extremely long time beyond the lifetime that we're in right now. They're feeling very isolated. And they think about the dreams and the plans that you had. They think about that a lot, like a lot, probably every day. If not every day, every other day, but it is very, very often. Okay, let's see what else we have. This person wanted to give you the world. Again, remember I said this person's very generous? This person wanted to start a life with you. They wanted to do things with you that they haven't done before. Like they wanted to show you everything that they've seen in the world, everything that they've done. But there were also so many new things that they wanted to do with you. I feel like maybe they wanted to travel with you. They wanted to do fun things with you. Like really, really have a good life, having a lot of fun, doing things, meeting people, possibly giving back to the community. Just like really, really just wanted to show you like a good life, whatever that meant to the two of you. The Knight of Wands. With the Knight of Wands, this person felt that you matched their integrity, you matched their hard work. You know, with the Nine of Pentacles, I feel like they're a very, very hard worker. I feel like they have integrity. They saw that in you. I feel like now they're trying to find something to distract them from being the Five of Cups. I feel like they have a sense of, I don't want to say anger in an aggressive form, but anger in a sad form. Does that make sense? So angry because there was nothing that they could have done. Angry because they didn't want things to be this way. But the basis of that anger is sadness. And I feel like they do things like maybe working out or working excessively or something like that so that they don't have to feel as much as they would if they just see what the difference is. So here this person is literally absolutely consumed and can't do anything else because they feel like this. And then here they're trying to definitely not forget, but they're trying to get through the days, which they weren't doing here, but they're trying to get through the days here. Okay, because even now, like I don't know how long this has been since you saw this person, but even now they're devastated. And so they're just trying to get through the days. With the King of Cups, they're trying to keep control of their emotions. They're trying to do the best they can. They're trying to move on the best they can. And I feel the way for them to do that is to keep building their empire, whatever they were doing here. That has something to do with work. So this could be someone who has become like a workaholic. Although, I mean, they kind of had those tendencies before, but I feel like it's worse now. And they're trying to move on the best that they can, even though they will never truly move on. Because you see here, this person can't move forward because these cups are in their way. So they're going to try to move forward. They're going to try to move on, but they're not trying to forget. Does that make sense? I just got a sense of regret. Regret that they didn't do things differently. Regret that they didn't say something differently. Regret that they didn't pull the plug on something. Yeah, there's a lot of regret here. It's like, yeah, with the Knight of Pentacles, it's like, I wish I would have gone the other way. I wish I would have made a different decision. But now that I made this decision, my fate is sealed and I can't change it now. Okay. We have the King of Wands. You know, with the King of Wands, I feel like this person does think that sometimes they think that there is a solution. They think that this can be fixed maybe in the future, but it's going to take a while. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. I feel like they go back and forth, because remember when I just said that there's nothing that can be done now, it's too late now? I feel like they feel like that, right? When they're really, really, really in their feelings and feeling sad. And then they do something to clear their mind. And then they think, oh, wait a minute, maybe this could work. And then then they really kind of get, what is the word? Kind of like excited about it and really passionate about trying to come up with a way that this could possibly work. So I feel like, obviously our question is, how did they feel the last time they saw you? And I feel like they felt like this the last time they saw you. And I think that they still feel like this some days, even currently. The Queen of Swords. They wonder what you're doing. Oh, wow. That's interesting back here. I feel like they think about you. They wonder if you're still thinking about them and what you could have had. And they hope you're happy. Okay, here it is. They hope you're happy, but they hope that you still think about them. And they wonder what would happen if they reached out to you. They wonder what you would say. They wonder if you would be cold, or if you still have, like, cold to them if they reached out to you. And they wonder if, so they wonder if you would be cold, or if you would still have love for them in your heart. They still feel, they still love you. They still feel the same way about you. And they hope that you're happy, that you've moved on, but they do still hope that you still love them. And I think that they think about reaching out to you sometimes, but they don't know how you're going to react. They think you're going to be really mad about how it ended. That because they had a choice, like they had a very difficult choice, and yes, they could have gone both ways, but the way that they chose seemed like the only possible solution at that time to, like, yes, they had a choice to do it the other way, but the way that they chose, they, for some reason, felt like that was the only one that they could choose, even though realistically they could have gone either way. Does that make sense? The Page of Cups. Okay, so to sum it up, how they felt the last time they saw you. They wanted to move forward with you. They know that you are their true soulmate. They wanted to offer you something, which I think was, they wanted to offer you a life. They wanted to offer a partnership, possibly marriage, if that's what you both wanted. I mean, when I say marriage, some people don't want to be married, but don't want to get married, but they want to be together forever. So just putting that out there. But definitely look, he's holding the heart here, holding the cup here. The rose petals are falling off. This person, was it your decision or was it their decision? Because now I'm feeling like it might have been you were stuck in something and this person walked away so that you didn't have to make the difficult decision. So I feel for some of you, you were the one that had to walk away because you were stuck in something. And then for others of you, I feel like it was this person that walked away. And don't get caught up on gender here. You know, if it's just the energy that we see. So this reading applies to anyone watching. So when you see genders on the cards, don't get caught up in that. So yeah. Okay, so to sum this up, when this person actually had to walk away that day, I feel like their hopes and their dreams that they had, this life that they wanted with you, I feel like these hopes and these dreams and these visualizations that they had of a life that you could have together slowly started just wilting away and falling away from them. And they're going to carry that with them forever. So I think that covers everything. I think that pretty much sums it up. So if you appreciate this reading, please like and subscribe. You can always click on the bell to be notified of future videos. And if you ever want to book a private reading with me, you can find the link from my website down below in the description box. Thank you so much. Hello, pile number 3. You have the Fluorite half moon and you have attachment. So, first of all, I want to point out the situation's very foggy with all this kind of fog, clouds, whatever you want to call it. This makes me think of spider webs. It's like old issues that may have come up between the two of you and not fully resolving those issues and that becoming an issue. That is kind of the core feeling of what this person was feeling the last time they saw you. And at the same time, wanting to move on from these feelings, but feeling stuck and attached to those feelings of something from the past. And I say something from the past because this right here, I don't know if you can see, but for some reason I keep seeing spider webs right here, even though I think it's just the fog. And so with spider webs, that makes me think of something that was like kind of dormant for a while, or something, where a spider could come in and weave a web into a room that's not used that often, or a room that's not cleaned that often, or, something like that. So it could also be that issues from the past came like resurfaced, or it could be that you couldn't get over issues from the past and they couldn't accept that you couldn't get over it anymore, and it just wasn't working anymore. So that's what I get so far from this card. Let's get some more oracle cards so we can get some more information for you. Okay. How did they feel the last time they saw pile number 3, please? Ooh, facade, yeah. Okay, so we have the mask here, and then we have facade. So they feel like something wasn't quite what it seemed. They felt like, oh, and look, actually, this looks like clouds. Doesn't that look like clouds to you? And then like the fog, the clouds here. So it seems like what they thought they had, or what they thought something was, turns out that it's not. Because here, this person could have had the mask on, and then the mask revealed like the truth of the situation. And so they decided to walk away. Now, that doesn't mean that you did something bad. It could mean, I mean, maybe nobody did anything bad. We'll see when we look at the cards, but it could mean that this other person did something that upset you, and you said you moved on from it, but you really didn't. And when that came to light, this person felt, because you're chained here, or this person's chained here, that you would never be able to move on from that, even though when you had the mask on, you said you did, but something happened to remove that mask, and then they realized that you didn't really move on from that, and they didn't want to stay because you hadn't moved on from that, even though you said you had. And I'm not implying that that's your fault. I'm just saying that this is the energy that I'm getting that's coming from them. So let's look at your other cards. What else can you tell us? How did they feel the last time they saw pile number 3? Impasse, yeah. They felt like they did all they could, and that you would never be able to forget what happened, or what was said, or something that changed things at one point. It's like they felt that you could never go back to the way it was before that thing happened. Yeah. So you see these two cards, and we have like the clouds or more fog here, and then the fog here, and here it's clear. Here we can see the stars. Here we can see all the trees, and it's kind of like, okay, I see the situation clearly now. So this person felt like there was nothing else that could be done. It is what it is, kind of, is the saying that I'm getting. This person's like, well, it is what it is. I did what I could. Now it's time to move on. Okay, let's get more oracle cards for you. Okay. What else can you tell us, please? How did they feel the last time they saw pile number 3, please? Disruption. With this card, again, I'm feeling like they thought that things were better, but they really weren't. And something happened, like something happened here, and then this person thought you worked through it, and then all of a sudden here it like resurfaced, and they realized, oh, okay, I guess we haven't really worked through that, even though I thought we did. So it created like a sense of conflict, and not just conflict, but it's like you can't even get through here, right? Through, like, this energy right here is so stuck. It's like an impasse. It's like you can't get through that barrier. That's how the person felt. Ghost. They just, they wanted to disappear from the situation because they felt like to put any more energy into something, it's kind of like, well, why? Why would I want to do that? They didn't really think that it would be worth the energy, because they thought that you had moved on from it, but you really hadn't. Or, and maybe it's not you, this could just be representing a situation that came up again. And they felt like it would continue to come up over and over and over again if they would have stayed in this relationship with you. Let's look at your tarot cards. Let's see what else we can find for you. Okay, how did they feel the last time they saw pile number 3, please? The 3 of Pentacles. What an interesting card. They definitely put effort into it. I feel like you both put effort into the situation. Do you see down here? Let me show you. You can see the faces down here. How interesting is that, right? So what I feel with this card, especially with the Three of Pentacles, you may have had a third party trying to help you through this situation. So let's say if you went for counseling or something like that, that could be the third party here, where you were really, really dissecting your thoughts. You were really getting to the core issue of how you both feel about this. And see, they're holding hands here. So I do feel like this was a partnership. I feel like you really tried to work through things and really tried to get a perspective of how each of you were feeling. And I feel like there was a lot of progress that was made, especially with, you know, the butterfly here and I'm not sure if this is a butterfly or a moth, but both putting in a lot of effort. But because I'm not sure if this is a butterfly or a moth, it's like one of you did not fully transform and accept whatever the situation was. And I feel like whoever this is over here is the same person who's here. And the other person realized, oh, okay, I guess you didn't. You said you were okay. You may have thought you were okay. You may have thought that we worked through this issue, but ultimately in your heart, you did not completely let it go. So that's what I see here with this card. What else? The Knight of Wands. Very interesting. This is very interesting. Your reading is very interesting because you have the person in the mask, and can you see here? This person is wearing the body armor, but they're not really wearing it. It's kind of like it's in front of them, and like maybe almost it's like you have a mask on but you don't. So I feel like you went from here to trying to move forward through something before it was completely resolved. Maybe you just kind of said, okay, yeah, everything's fine now, just so that you could move on, thinking that you would be able to move on, but not fully resolving the issue. Because the Knight of Wands, so Knights are cards that are in motion, cards that are moving. And sometimes the Knight of Wands is so passionate about something, especially with the flowers here. They're so passionate about something, and sometimes they can see things through rose-colored glasses, meaning that they can see things, they can see the good in things, but they're not confronting the bad, right? Which is kind of what we saw here, which some little piece was not completely resolved, but saying, okay, let's just go forward anyway. So the Knight of Wands sometimes has to be careful that they don't move forward too quickly before resolving issues and just saying, oh, it's okay, I just want to go forward. But you didn't resolve all the issues. So that in itself will create more issues down the line and cause this disruption. I hope that makes sense. And we have the Six of Swords. Yeah, so I think that's what happened. And then it just got to a point where it wasn't sustainable anymore, and it was time to kind of move on. That's where we get the disruption from, because this, I feel like this resurfaced. It resurfaced and someone ended up walking away. The Devil, yeah. So the Devil card in like the traditional tarot decks shows someone or two people being chained to something, just like we have here. There was an attachment to something. And here with the devil whispering in the ear, I feel like whatever this was that you were trying to work on here, it's just, you could not let go of it. You just could not let go of it. No matter how hard you tried, it was always there. And that could be anything. That could be something that happened. That could be something that someone said, this other person said, or that you said, an argument, an event that happened, something that didn't happen even, people interfering in your relationship. Really, any situation that you can think of, this could be that. And it's just this nagging feeling that would just come up from time to time, or that was always in the back of the mind, that could not let go of. And I feel like this other person is the one who thought that you had let go of the situation. It could be reversed, especially because, you know, there might be a lot of people watching this, so it could be the other way around. But I feel like when this issue came up again, this person was like, are we seriously back here again? And they were like, yeah, I just can't deal with this. I thought we already resolved this. And again, it could be the other way around. So that's what I'm getting so far. Yeah, the Three of Swords. So it's not logical the way that you were holding on to this situation, this memory, because it wasn't logical to the other person. So the other person involved here may have said or was thinking, this doesn't make any sense. It's not even logical that you're still thinking about this, but you could not let it go. You or the other person couldn't let it go. And then you or the other person couldn't let go of the fact that you couldn't let go of it. Does that make sense? So it's like you're both sitting there not being able to let go of whatever this original situation was. So this person, the last time they saw you, they felt stuck. They felt like this, whatever this was, they felt like it would never, ever, ever go away, that it would always be there. And anytime you had a disagreement or an argument or hard times, this would be brought up and you would put it right on the table. And then you'd have to deal with it again. And they didn't want to do that. The Ace of Wands. Very interesting card. Because they thought that they really thought that you worked through it here. They thought that you found the key to solve the problem here. And that you could move on with your lives, and that you could get back to the way things were before. But it doesn't work that way because it wasn't completely resolved. And so it's like you started over from this point, but it wasn't completely resolved. Remember the Knight of Pentacles? This is like moving forward when you haven't worked through all those problems. And then when you had to look at the situation again, it's like you see all these bottles back here, all these, it's like these are the one issue that was here, because see, this is like a bottle of sorts here, and it multiplied. When you moved forward with the Ace of Wands, you started moving forward because you both had passion for the relationship. You both wanted to try to move through this, but you still had these problems here, and those problems multiplied. That's what we're seeing here. And it just became bigger and bigger and bigger, to the point where this person felt like the key was lost a long time ago and there's no way to go forward. Okay. So we have the Creatrix, which in this deck is the Magician card. So, see, right below the Three of Pentacles, they thought that they had found the solution to fix the problem. And they were so excited to move forward from this problem. You know, the Knight of Wands, this is an exciting card. This is someone who's excited to move forward, excited to pursue their goals and their passions and going forward sometimes without looking at things from the correct perspective, or sometimes just bypassing issues and problems. And so this person thought that they had found the solution here and was really envisioning something completely different than what ended up happening, which is that you are still stuck in the past. The Lover's card, very, very interesting card. What is this person holding? Let me see. What is that? Let me look at that with my little magnifying glass. You know, I can't quite make it out. I don't know exactly what that person is holding right here, but so they're holding hands. So there's hope here. However, there's also a sense of detachment, which we see here. So you have attachment by holding hands here, which we have here, but there's also detachment here and here, and even here too. So I feel like this person felt like they put in a good fight. They tried what they could. They really, really, really tried to fix things, and they really wanted to fix things, but ultimately, before they made a decision to move on, their intuition told them that it would probably be best to just move on, that this can't really be fixed, that you're at an impasse. The ground that these people are standing on is uneven. This person is almost standing on something, and this person isn't. So I think it got to a point with the impasse that you were no longer meeting each other on the same level. I think that's what happened. And that's what this person saw. And they saw that it was unfixable. Like, it might have been fixable if you would have stayed here longer and really worked through more of the issues. But I think this person wanted to just kind of, let's just wrap this up and put a bow on it and move on. But that didn't resolve the problem, and that's why it came up again. The Two of Wands. These cards are so interesting. Okay, so the Two of Wands, I feel like this person sat with their feelings for a while. So once this resurfaced, I feel like this person really thought about the situation for a little bit. It seems like they didn't just rush and extract themselves from the situation. They thought about it. They looked at it from different angles. They wondered if it could ever get back to the way that it was. And I don't think that they made this decision lightly. It was a lot of contemplation, a lot of possible back and forth in their own mind. And then I think eventually they just couldn't do it anymore. I feel like a part of them still loved you or loved the idea of you two in the beginning, but just felt like there was no way to get back to the way that it was. Yeah, the Chariot card here. Oh, wow. Look at this. Can you see this? So there are two faces here that this person is holding. And then the two moons. What I get here is this person felt like you would both be better off in different circumstances, meaning you would both be better off if you were not together. I feel like you butt heads a lot, or you did. Feel like both of you may have been pretty stubborn and trying to move forward from this. I feel like you were doing pretty good in the beginning, but once this person realized that you didn't really move on from that, I feel that they then dug their feet in, and you dug your feet in even more, and they did even more. And that's why you're on two different levels here. And it seems like it just became impossible to come back to even ground. That's what I feel like here. And then this person made the decision to move on. And it's like, yes, they... Okay, here it is. So it's not that they didn't love you when they left, because I think that there was still love there, but they respected you enough to separate from the situation so that hopefully at that point you would be able to heal and release yourself from whatever it was that came back up in this relationship. I hope that makes sense. We have the Ace of Swords. Very, very interesting Ace of Swords. Very interesting. So this could, okay, very interesting card, because this kind of, to me, represents walking away from something a little bit like the Six of Swords, like a little bit. Because usually the Ace of Swords is like a great idea, inspiration. In this card, however, I feel like that is still present, but that means the great idea is to walk away from something. To walk away with your head held high, walk away before it gets any worse, call a truce even, let's just call a truce, because you're at an impasse. So there's nothing left to do but walk away. So I feel like this person wanted to leave the relationship with a little bit of respect that you could both take. Away from the relationship and still have a little bit of respect for each other, because I feel like they felt like if you stayed in this situation any longer, it would just get worse, and then you would bring, more anger and animosity and aggression into the situation. And I feel like this person wanted to have a certain level of respect for each other as you part ways. Yeah, and this makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's put these to the side. So the Six of Cups. I feel what I just said, that this person wanted both of you to be able to walk away with a level of respect for each other. And I'm seeing that here. That is because this person still has love for you. It's like they had love for you, but maybe they weren't in love with you at the point that they walked away. And because they still had feelings for you, maybe it's, I feel like maybe it's not even love, but it's like a level of respect or a level of caring, or there was still something there. But at the same time, it's like it wouldn't go anywhere with the two of you. And so that's what it is. They wanted to be able to walk away with some happy memories and not animosity. So they wanted it to be as kind of like as easy as possible, as easy as it could be, given everything that you went through here. So I hope that makes sense. It was really interesting. There's a lot. It seems like a very complicated situation, something that has some like different elements at different times running through it. So I hope that I explained it well enough for you. And if this video resonates with you, please like and subscribe. You can always click on the bell to be notified of future videos if you would like. And if you ever want to book a private reading with me, you can do that on my website, which is listed in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching.